Hi everyone, this is Dr.Inam Rahman Khan from Orthoflex Clinic, Mysore. Now, this is actually a lecture video and it's for the benefit of medical and paramedical students where I will try and introduce you all to joint structure and function, although general population too could learn from it. So, what is a joint actually? In general, a joint or articulation in general is used to connect one component of a structure with one or more other components. Now, the joints found in the human skeleton are similar to that of any joint that is used in the construction of buildings, furnitures, and machines. However, in artificial joints, however, in artificial joints, the desired function determines the structure, whereas in humans, the structure of the joint determines the function. Having said that, the materials used to build a joint also vary depending upon the function of the joint. That is, if the desired function of the joint is to provide stability and support, the structures would be different than those that would be used if the desired function was mobility at the joint. Now, the living material used in the construction of human joints is connective tissue. Now, this connective tissue is in the form of bones, ligaments, capsules, cartilage, discs, bursae, and tendons. Now, before we take up each connective tissue and study their anatomical structure and their microarchitecture, it is important for us to understand that all these connective tissues have some things in common. Although the amount of the composition may vary from one another, but they have some structures in common. Now, generally, the structure of the connective tissue can be studied under two categories: the cellular matrix and the extracellular matrix. And furthermore, the extracellular matrix has got two components, that is the fibrillar and the interfibrillar component. Now, as we all know that a cell forms the structural and functional unit of a living being, and the connective tissue is no different. So, the cellular matrix of a connective tissue is made of wide dispersion of cells which may be static inside the connective tissue and also which may move in and out of the connective tissues. Now, the ones which are static are called as the resident cells, and the ones that move in and out of that particular connective tissue are called as circulating cells. Now, the resident cells are predominantly the ones that help in the synthesis or formation of that particular connective tissue. For example, the primary resident cells that are the precursors of a cartilage are called as the chondroblasts. The ones that are responsible for bone formation are called as osteoblasts, and the ones that help in the development of the tendon are called as the tenocytes. Now, the circulating cells, irrespective of any connective tissue, are predominantly lymphocytes, that is white blood cells, and macrophages. Now, these help in the nourishment, maintenance, and repair of that connective tissue. Now, coming to the extracellular matrix, as I said earlier, it has a fibrillar component. Now, the fibrillar or fibrous component of the extracellular matrix contains two major classes of structural proteins called as collagen and elastin. Now, this collagen is the most abundant protein in the human body. It has a tensile strength, that is resistance of a material breaking under tension is tensile strength. Now, that tensile strength approaches that of steel and is responsible for functional integrity of the connective tissue. So, 15 to 19 types have been identified. Types of collagen have been identified, and Roman numerals designate each type of collagen. Type 1 and type 2 collagen are predominant collagens present in the connective tissues. Type 1 collagen is predominantly found in ligaments, tendons, menisci, bones, and fibrous portions of the joint capsule, whereas the type 2 collagen predominantly is found in hyaline cartilage, nucleus pulposus of the intervertebral disc. Now, type 3 collagen is found in the skin and stratum synovium of the joint capsule. Now, the basic building block of the collagen is a triple helix of 3 polypeptide chains that is called as a tropocollagen molecule, which is synthesized in the rough endoplasmic reticulum of the fibroblasts. The tropocollagen molecule, the tropocollagen molecules attract to each other and aggregate to form microfibrils. The microfibrils form subfibrils and in turn combine to form fibrils. Now the fibrils form the fascicle and the fascicles combine to form a fiber. Okay, so the collagen fibers are non-elastic in nature, but in different connective tissues are arranged in different fashion such that it allows some amount of elastic type of deformation. Now, in a relaxed state, collagen fibers assume a wavy configuration called as the crimp, which disappears when they are stretched. Now, the second fibrillar component is elastin. Elastin is a yellow fibrous tissue and, as the name implies, has elastic properties. That is, it deforms under an applied load and returns to its original state when the load is removed from it. Now let us take up the interfibrillar component. What is present in between the fibers? Proteoglycans and glycoproteins form the interfibrillar component of the connective tissue. Now, proteoglycans consist of protein core to which one or more polysaccharide chains are attached. The polysaccharide chains are made up of glycosaminoglycans. Now, the major type of sulfated glycoaminoglycans found in connective tissue are keratin sulfate and chondroitin 6 sulfate. Hyaluronan is also a polysaccharide but non-sulfated one that attaches to the core protein via a link protein. Now, we will in brief understand each type of connective tissue starting with ligaments. Now, what are these ligaments? Ligaments are connective tissue structures that bind one bone to another either at or near the joint. Some ligaments are part of the joint capsule and are very difficult to distinguish because of such close proximity to the joint capsule. Now, other ligaments are easily distinguishable and often appear as dense white bands of cords of connective tissue. But one notable exception in the ligaments is something called as ligamentum flavum, which is yellowish in color. Now, ligaments are named according to their location, shape and relationship to one another, and occasionally they are given the name of the person who first identified them. Now, the cellular component of the ligaments consists mainly of fibroblasts. The fibrillar component is predominantly collagen than elastin. So, collagen fibers appear to be cemented into the bone, forming sharpy fibers at the ligamentous bony insertion called as the enthesis. Now, the interfibrillar component mainly consists of proteoglycans with dermatin sulfate in their polysaccharide chain. So